Hello and welcome to a new video on cryptography for everybody. In today's video, we won't have a look at cryptology, but the video will hopefully still be interesting since I want to show you how you can create a digital business card, a so-called vCard, that is encoded in a QR code so that everyone is able to scan this card and to automatically add your contact data to his or her address book. I structured this video into 3 different parts. In the first part, I want to give you an overview of the vCard format. Then, in the second part, we will have a detailed look at how the vCard format actually works. And finally, of course, I will show you how to do it in CrypTool 2. We will create our own vCards and encode them in a QR code. In the early 1990s, Apple, AT&T, IBM and Siemens founded the vCard consortium to develop a common standards for personal data interchange, among other things. And in 1996, the vCard consortium published the specification for vCard in version 2.1 and for vCalendar in version 1.0. And the letter in vCard stands for the publisher vCard. At the end of 1996, this consortium dissolved and transferred all rights to vCard to the Internet Mail Consortium. And there are 3 specifications for vCard. We have a version 2.1 from 1998, we have a version 3.0 from 1998, and we have the newest version 4.0 from 2011. Now let's have a look at how the vCard actually works and how the format works. And a vCard in fact is saved as a simple unformatted text file. And the file consists of one or more vCard objects, what this means we will see later, enclosed by begin vCard and end vCard with 2 colons. All vCards must contain the version property that specifies the vCard version, and this must directly follow the begin element, you can say. Then the content of the vCard consists of individual properties and their attributes. They can be defined in any order, and a property starts with property, then optional a parameter, then we have a colon, we have the attribute, and we have optional other attributes. And modern mobile phones are able to detect and scan vCards from QR codes. And here on the right side, I have an example QR code. You could now stop the video, and if you're not watching with your mobile phone, you could take your mobile phone and try to have a look at the QR code, and you will see that it will try to create a contact in your address book. But of course, you can decline this. Here's an example for vCard version 4.0. As said before, we start with begin vCard and we end with end vCard. Then we have the version tag. In our example here, 4.0. Then we have an end tag, and the end tag stands for last name and first name. In our case, we have Gump and Forest. Then you have a formatted name that is displayed on your phone. For instance, Forest Gump. Then we have 2 telephone numbers that we define, one for work and one for home. Then we have an email address, forestgump@example.com. And then we have the ref here. This is a timestamp of the last update of the vCard. And this here is the timestamp. And as I said, this is the end. Clearly, there are a lot of different other things you can define in a vCard. If you want to know these, you may have a look at the Wikipedia, where you have nice examples, or you could even have a look at the standard definition. Now that we know what a vCard is and how the text format looks like, let's create our own vCard in CrypTool 2. I'm here now in CrypTool 2 in the current nightly build version 9413.1, and I want to show you how you can create your own vCard. And we created a nice template that helps you to create a vCard. To find it, you can just search for vCard. Then you find the template, and double-clicking on the template, CrypTool 2 opens it. Here we have the template. And the template, as you can see, consists of several components that are used for creating the vCard And we have the visual encoder, which allows us to create a QR code. And here in these text input components, you can actually define what you want to have in your vCard. And by changing these, you will see it also changes live the QR code. But before we start the template, let's open the template text input component here. And here you can see the vCard definitions. And we have some placeholders like the % sign or surname and then % sign, then the forename, surname, and so on. And then we have here string operations components, and these string operations components replace our placeholders. When we open this here, you see we have a placeholder for forename by what you enter here in the text input components. And the chain goes on and on and on until we have updated or replaced everything in our vCard template, and then it's displayed in the visual encoder. So let's just start it and change some values. When you start the template for the first time, of course, it creates this QR code here, and this is a vCard, and you could now scan this using your mobile phone, and it would add here a new contact for Forrest Gump. But let's change this to my name. And as you can see, of course, with all the components in CrypTool 2, it live updates the QR code because it forwards the data that you change here. Now let's change the telephone number and the second telephone number, of course, too. And then I want to change the email here. And now I have my own personal vCard in a QR code. And now you could ask yourself, how can I export this and use it, for instance, in a real business card? To do so, we stop the workspace and I zoom out a little with the mouse wheel and holding Control. And then I add a file output component. Because our visual encoder component has an output connector which outputs a byte array, and this byte array then contains our image in a PNG format. So in the file output component, I say, please save this to the desktop. This is my vcard.png. And then, of course, we need to connect these two. Since we have a byte array here and a CrypTool stream here, we cannot just connect these. We need a converter component. You add the converter component to the workspace, and in the converter component, we have to convert to CrypTool stream. Then we connect the converter and we connect the file output. And now when I press play again, instead of only creating the QR code with the vCard inside, it will also write this to the file we defined. Let's press play. And now you see we have 100% in the file output, so we have now created a vCard in a QR code. I will now go to my desktop, and on my desktop you can see that I have here a vCard. And we can open this, for instance, now with MS Paint. And here we have our just created vCard PNG file. And you can now use this, for instance, and put it into your business card and print it out, and everyone who has your business card can easily scan this QR code with his or her mobile phone to get your contact info. Yes, and this is everything I wanted to show you in this short video. Now you know that you can create with CrypTool 2 the so-called vCard and also put it into a QR code. Yeah, so thank you very much for watching. I hope you liked it. If yes, please give a thumbs up. Also, if you did not yet subscribe to this channel and want to learn more about CrypTool 2 and especially on cryptology, please subscribe and like. So thank you very much for watching and see you in the next video.